Hello everyone, this is Denise at Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and what I'm currently doing is cataloging all of my fiber. I'm hoping I can make this video without any pauses. I have a new puppy, and currently her name is Sugar. I'm not really sure if that's going to stick because it was kind of an accidental name, and that's a whole other story, and if you want to hear it, I'll tell it in my next video. So anyway, somebody asked me at a fiber symposium last month whether I still make videos. And the answer to that question is no, but kind of yes. I've made half a dozen videos and I just have never made them to completion. And hopefully the dogs won't start screaming at each other. So the last video I made and never posted, I said something about moving. And we've moved again. And of course she's going to make a ton of noise back there. Anyway, we moved again, and so I got rid of a whole lot of fiber, mostly because somehow I wanted with wool moths. And all those years of storing wool out in the barn and just storing wool, never had a problem. So my guess is that it was brought in from some fiber I brought from somewhere else. So at any rate, I had to, well, and a lot of that was stored in the basement when I did the first move, so it didn't really make it. At any rate, I went through everything, discarded a bunch of stuff, washed a bunch of stuff, did the whole routine, and pretty much left me with what was, super sealed and perfectly fine. And then I went to our local farm park and got more wool. So for the most part, with the exception really of my Angora and alpaca stash, almost all this stuff now is all new. So I have to go through and check out the first set of barcodes that I put on everything, line them, match them up, and put new barcodes. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. And that's just a little dicey. So I'm in the boiler room, and as far as I know, this house has been vacant for like at least maybe 8-9 years, maybe longer. And a lot of the stuff that, a lot of what's going on, this house was built in 1925, and there's actually a coal hatch in the boiler room, and you can see a lot of the marks where there's coal on the walls from the original boiler. The new boiler is obviously tiny compared to the old boiler, but the original big pipes from the old boiler are still here, of course, because the original radiators are still here. So they just connected the little boiler, little pipes to the very large, massive boiler pipes. It's actually kind of cool if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So I've been going through and repainting all the brick. At some point, I guess I can tilt up just a little bit. Hopefully you can hear me over top of that ruckus. And this thing doesn't move very smoothly, so it's going to be really jerky. So I've been painting everything with like a creamy, just a regular, like light tan, creamy butterscotch. Maybe, but no, not quite butterscotch. Butter something color over top of the brick. Now, why am I painting over brick? Because, like I said, this brick is old. It's covered with coal, and the mortar in between the brick has some leaching. And one of the quickest ways for me to do that, I have two options. I could have just water sealed it and kept the original brick color, but like I said, it's filthy, and I'm just not going to try to scrub that brick clean. So it was just easier just to paint on top of it and give it that extra seal. That's that. All right, so anyway, back to fiber. So that's what I'm currently doing now. Unfortunately, it looks like my hackle was damaged in the storage where the fiber was. It's pretty rusty. I've got two tines that are like completely rusted off the tip. But for the most part, just gonna sand it down, do what I can to salvage that. The drum carters, well, the one drum carter was stored in my actual room. The other one was in the basement too, and it started to mold a bit. So I sanded that one down, and I'm gonna varnish it. They haven't been varnished. They're not lacquered like my Luette is, and the Luette was actually bagged in the basement too, and so it had a little bit of damage from it, a little bit of mold from being down there, but I was able to take care of that, so we're okay with that. So mostly everything survived, and it's all here. Since I've been here, which has been about a year, I haven't done much spinning. I just haven't done much spinning. So that was one of the questions about, do I make videos anymore? Since the first move, which was pre-COVID, I haven't done much spinning since 2020, since I wrote the article for Spinoff. And most of that is because I just kind of got burned out. Trying to make a hobby into something that's profitable. I think I've touched on that a couple different times. It just caused a lot of burnout. And I really wasn't feeling the whole thing from the fiber arts community. So that became my other question. Like, is there really a fiber arts community? And if you had asked me that maybe 2 or 3 years ago, well, probably more like 4 or 5 years ago, when I stopped making videos, my answer would have been no. It just would have. So it seems like, if you think about it, I never had like a really big channel blow up like a lot of people have. And I've been trying to figure out what it is I can do to like build community in the fiber arts. I've just always felt like I'm on the fringes, which is mostly okay. But I think I got disillusioned for a while with social media, where there were these people who were, had these groups, or they were in these groups, and they just kind of became known in the fiber arts world. And because I had quit teaching and I was trying to make my way, I think I wanted a part of that. I wanted to try to make like fiber arts my thing, my career, like, I don't know, get big in fiber arts or whatever that actually means. And so I was pushing all these different angles, and then I was trying to make it like a small business so I wouldn't have to go back into teaching. And everybody always says, well, why don't you sell? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So I tried all that, and it never really worked. And I feel like I kind of lost my way. I wasn't doing fiber arts because I enjoyed it. I wasn't creating for the love of it. I was trying to impress people and sell stuff and make a name for myself. And you know what? That never really worked for me because I'm just not that kind of person. Basically, that's pretty much how it is. I'm just really not that kind of person. So after a while, I was just like, I don't need anything. I'm not trying to get anyone's attention. I'm not trying to impress anyone. And so I just kind of just stopped. Really just stopped. And just found other things to do with my time. So that's pretty much what happened. In the meantime, other opportunities opened up to me. Like, I think I made a few videos about me at Praxis, and that was fun for a while. I really love the people at Praxis, and that is where I discovered the fiber arts community. I think I came in on fiber arts, I've always been doing crocheting and sewing and all that kind of stuff. But I came in on like the spinning fiber arts scene when Facebook really started, getting popular. And so I think I came in on the place where there were lots of people, and I'm not saying that this is bad, who also wanted to become a fiber arts rock star. And so I think that led to some types of communication that were not to my liking, where I would post things and have people copy my colorways without any acknowledgement, or I would talk about things I'd like to do and then see people do them ahead of me without giving any credit, or I might do something, and because I was a smaller YouTuber or a new fiber artist, someone else would pick it up and become more prominent than me. And I'm like, I did that first. And so, and then I don't know if you remember, if you've been in the fiber arts community for a while, there's been several different complications. And I stay out of that because I was never really trying to push to be in those big communities. I just really I didn't have whatever they wanted, or I didn't want whatever they had. Not really quite sure how that worked out. But all that was kind of going on, and it seemed like there was a lot of drama in the fiber arts community, and I wasn't really finding a community. Not really what I wanted, because I was so concerned. Everybody else seemed to be so concerned about putting yourself out there and then having someone take what you put out there and run off with it before you had a chance to develop it yourself and, make something of it yourself. So I was like, there's really not any community. There's competition, but not community. And that's not really what I wanted. So once I stopped trying to be this social media fiber artist rock star, I started finding local community, which is one of the things I didn't originally find. The local community was kind of snobby too, because I don't quite fit into their perception. Let's just say that. Later on, I did find, like I said, praxis, and I found an actual local fiber arts community. And there are a lot of them. And thanks to praxis and Rush Belt Fiber Shed, I now have a group of people where I can actually enjoy fiber arts with and not worry about the competition of social media. So that actually takes me back full circle. And also, too, I'm back to full-time teaching. I'm not really sure how long that's going to last. I'm doing my best. I'm praying about it, trying to figure this out. But what that allows me to do is to do what I want at my own pace, not trying to keep up with trends, not trying to sell anything. None of that matters anymore. I'm not trying to make a social media image. I don't really care. And I can go back to enjoying whatever it is I'm doing. So if I make a video and someone benefits from it, I'm not getting paid for it. I don't care. It's not something I have to try to guard secrets so that people can pay for the information that I have. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's not really important. So what I'm trying to do now is build some consistency. That's the thing, too. It's been a long journey for me. It's been a rough past 10 years. It's been a rough 5 years post-COVID. And I think I'm finally in a good headspace to be more consistent. But since I've been out of this loop for so long, I don't even know what's going on in the fiber arts world. I'm not going to be into trends. I never have. I'm not into whoever has this crazy yarn or whatever crazy pattern they're working on now, or fiber festivals. I never actually go to those, mostly because at that point I didn't have money and time to travel. But, well, we'll see about this year. But at any rate, I'm not going to be into any of that. What I normally do on my channel, on the Something Beautiful Handcrafts channel, on the All My Dolls channel, is I teach, because that's what I do. I talk about breed studies. I talk about different breeds. I talk about how to process wools. I talk about different spinning techniques. So if that is something that people are interested in, that'll be good. I can't do the things that are going to, like, the trends that people are looking for that are going to draw, hundreds of people to my channel. I've never been able to do that because that's not where my interests are. Same thing on the doll channel. I'm not going to talk about doll controversies with American Girl. I'm just not really going to talk about their new releases. I guess I could. I always seem to get more views when I do that kind of stuff, but I'm not really interested in that. What I'm interested is teaching how to sew, how to make the clothes. That's what I like to do. I like to make stuff. And so pattern reviews with yarn and pattern reviews with sewing. So if people are interested in that stuff, I'll make the videos. If they only get a few views, that's fine. There's a few people out there who are interested. I'm not going to worry about trying to get thousands of subscriptions or thousands of views. I just need my small community of people who are interested and just want to learn about spinning or talk about spinning. That's pretty much it. Okay, so at any rate, here I am. To me, this is a really small stash. I really cannot, well, I mean, I could, but I really can't store as much wool as I used to. Okay. And that's okay because I can't really spin it all. Like I had a sable. What was that stash? Something beyond life expectancy. Oh, stash acquisition beyond life expectancy. So I can't do that. And to me, that's a little wasteful for me. I don't want to do that. And actually, quite a bit of what I've acquired over the couple of years was from a friend who had a sable. And unfortunately, when she passed, I really miss her. I inherited a great deal of her fibers that were breed studies. So I have all these crazy breed studies now, and I'm determined to go through them. And, wow. So I have all of this stuff. Once I finish the entire process, I'll tell you exactly what I have. Because I am going to try to sell some of this fiber because some of it just needs to go. And I have a tendency to pick up whole fleeces, as you've noticed. And sometimes I do split whole fleeces. I do. What is this right here? Let me see. So this right here, well, this is what's left of it. And this one down here. You actually saw this video. I think this one is the Tour de Fleece video. I think this one might be too. But this is the Finn and Jacob cross where I did spin the entire fleece. And I made a Ruana. And this one, oh, for the life of me, I cannot remember which one this one is. I want to say that this is the Finn. But I did spin the entire fleece. And I wove with it. So I have entire fleeces. That one is the Suffolk. And it is from my wool prep class. I've done 3 wool prep classes for Praxis. My next one is in September. I keep saying I'm going to record some of them, but I don't. I'm really going to try to record some of it for September. And I'm going to make everybody like little wool cheat sheets based on the sampling that we get. And there the dogs go again. Lake Farm Park. Don't mind the dogs. Lake Farm Park is what it sounds like. It's our local farm park where people and children can come, or go in this case, and invite schools and things like that, whatever other community groups that go, Girl Scouts. They go and they kind of see how a working farm runs. They can milk cows and feed chickens, talk about animal husbandry, see all kind of different farm animals, and then they put on a sheep herding demonstration and a lot of other really cool demonstrations. So they raise these sheep, and they have several breeds, And they shear the sheep every year, of course, because that's what you do. And I don't know if it's Western Reserve Spinning and Weaving who's in charge of it, or Lake Farm Park itself, but they keep the wool and they sell it. So we've been getting fleeces from them for the past 3 classes, and they actually have some wonderful fleeces there. And I thought it'd be a great idea for me to, as part of my buy local, which I love, is to get a lot of my fleeces from them for now. It's a great idea. So I'll go more into that later with Lake Farm Park. And if you are local to the area, you should really check them out. Okay, so Sugar has made a mess on the floor. She took the coffee box and just ripped it in a stretch. That's going to give me something to clean up. Now she's walking around trying to figure out what else she can eat. At any rate, when it's warmer out, I'll get a few pictures of Sugar so you can see her. So I'm making plans for what I'm going to spin next. I'm almost certain that last time I tried to take a video, I was spinning Coltswold or something for a breed study, and I finished it, and I never posted the video, so I need to figure out where it went off to and go ahead and get that posted and out of the way. Oh, it looks like it was Cormo. So I'll try to get back into the swing of things. Like I said, if you have anything you want me to talk about or curious about anything, let me know. Go ahead and post in the comments. And I will talk to you later. Take care.